All right, how about this guy? This guy is interesting to me because we saw a lot of hype with him in the past. It kind of fell off pretty hard. He got DFA'd, then came on and was pretty good for Chicago at one point. Franmil Reyes obviously was DFA'd by the Cleveland Guardians. Cubs picked him up. He had 5 home runs in only 48 games. This is a guy that I think could fit a true DH role if a DH role is needed. But I feel like if he gets signed, I kind of understand why he's not signed yet. Because if he gets signed, it's a true 1-year deal, prove it contract. I mean, this is a guy that, in the same competition, same level as Cody Bellinger for kind of prove it contract. So you find a spot that needs a true DH, and that's the case. You got to look at teams that are ready to not to be afraid to flip. And when I think of that, instantly I'm thinking of a team who's already signed some of those veteran players on the pitching staff, but now can do that on the battings. I think the Kansas City Royals will be an interesting pickup for Franmil Reyes. What's your thoughts?
Interesting. And I have the Royals as one of the teams I was considering, but my hesitation here is that he's all power, right? He's literally one-dimensional, and I don't mean that as an insult, but that's his game. And he's going to hit home runs, and he's going to strike out a ton. What's interesting though is Kauffman Stadium is massive, right? So if you're that type of player going to hit in a stadium like Whit Merrifield, when he was traded from there, he was like, now that I'm at a Kauffman Stadium, watch how many home runs I'm going to hit. I think for a guy whose sole game depends on that power, I don't know that Kansas City is the right spot unless you're SOL and you need a job, right? So some of the other teams I kind of wrote down here, the Pirates maybe, the Rockies, the Athletics, even, looking for, can he hit a bunch of bombs and then we can get something for him in midsummer. I just don't see how a contending team can look at a Reyes and say, you know what, we love the power and we're willing to deal with the defensive flaws. We're willing to deal with all the strikeouts just at a chance to get some of those home runs. I just don't see that. So I think you're looking at one of those kind of, for lack of a better term, basement teams. I'm just not sure. Like, I wrote down the Royals. I'm just not sure that Kauffman Stadium is a fit for him.
Yeah, I mean, Rockies fit the bill as well. We're on the same page. I think it's definitely going to be, he's going to be signed as a flippable asset, if you will. And any team that's going to be in a competition window, you're not going to see him on that squad until trade deadline. And if he lives up to his prove it deal, then we're going to see a 1-year deal at this point. At most, if it's a 2-year deal, that it's going to be a team option. There's no doubt about that. But Franmil Reyes, I can totally see going to a rebuilder, just trying to fill a void at the DH spot, or maybe a corner outfield. I don't know if I'd want to do that, but DH for sure, just to get your bat in the lineup. If you could sneak him on one of those teams and find a way, even if you had to DFA him, find a way to sneak him through your waivers, wouldn't be a bad call, right? So try to build him back up in the minor leagues and try to get his bat back to where it is, because we saw him in San Diego. Before he was traded to Cleveland, he had a lot of power. He was doing fantastic. We saw him in 2019, and in 2019 he had 37 home runs, right? So a lot of really interesting things. A lot of that was in San Diego, but 10 in Cleveland as well. So yeah, I'm interested to see what Franmil Reyes can go. But I'm with you. I think a team like the Pirates, like the Rockies, like the Royals fits the bill for him.